T whistle.
Duncan was waiting for Peter Sam to bring his freight cars for him to bring to Strawberry Grove. He also had to bring an organ which the headmaster was playing, and while he waited, the headmaster played a lively tune. Peter Sam worked hard all day delivering Duncan's cars. Peter Sam was making good time until his driver noticed a tree branch up ahead. "The tree branch is right in front of us," he cried. Peter Sam then came out to force a different looking engine. He no longer had his whistle. "Here's what hit you, Peter Sam," said the conductor. And he showed him the tree branch that hit his whistle. Poor Peter Sam felt worried. Without the whistle, the journey was difficult. After Peter Sam's whistle came off, Ivo Hugh had to take care of his work. Duncan, however, just laughed when he heard about Peter Sam's misfortune. "First you lose a funnel, and now a whistle. Whatever will you lose next?" he teased. "I can't start work again until I get a new whistle," said Peter Sam. "It would be too dangerous." "Oh, pah!" huffed Duncan. "An engine's not an engine without a whistle." And just to prove it, he blew a long, loud whistle. But Peter Sam paid no attention. But Duke did. He steamed out of the sheds next to Peter Sam and Duncan. "I'd be careful with blowing your whistle if I were you," said Duke. "Doc once told me the time when Mike once blew his whistle and lost it in a field. And he also once told me the time of when Gordon's whistle went off." That Mike character losing his whistle, and that big blue express engine's whistle going off? Rubbish, huffed Duncan. They were just being silly, and he steamed away with the organ and his freight cars. But secretly, he felt cross that he thought that the engines were jealous of his fine whistle. Duncan was making good timing, but he was still cross. "They're jealous of my fine whistle," Duncan puffed grumpily. Duncan then saw some goats and sheep. He tried whistling at them, but no such luck. They were all too busy eating grass to take any notice. "Bah!" huffed Duncan. "I need to whistle loudly and longly some next time." At the Cattle Creek crossing, Elizabeth was waiting with the farmer's prize bull. And this time, Duncan blew the loudest whistle of all. That frightened the bull. He groaned. "Stop that nonsense, Duncan," Elizabeth called crossly. "You could have scared the bull off my wagon." But Duncan paid no attention. He was too focused on his whistle. Meanwhile, at Renea's station, Bertrand was dropping off passengers. All the passengers went on board the coaches. And Duncan blew his whistle long and loud. And one of the passengers that were on board the train was an infant. And it screamed. "Duncan," he called, "you scared an infant in one of the coaches." But Duncan didn't hear Bertram, and he didn't realize that his whistle was coming loose. Duncan then saw Thumper idling in the distance. "He'll get the loudest and longest whistle yet," he thought. As he blew his whistle loudly, the whistle shot into the air. And as it landed, it was nowhere to be seen. "Ah, no," cried Duncan. The driver, fireman, and the conductor looked all around for Duncan's whistle, but it was no such luck. "It's no use," said the driver. "We can't find the whistle, and we can't go on without one. It would be too dangerous." "I'll take it from here," said the headmaster. "Bah," huffed Duncan. "What no use at all." "The organ won't help," said Duncan. "Don't be silly," snapped the driver as he was about to walk into his cab. "Organs are quite useful for engines that whistle too loudly." "Ah," huffed Duncan. "Don't remind me of the time I got stuck in the tunnel." But after that, Duncan didn't even say anything about the journey. But the headmaster's organ did. It alerted everyone just as well as a whistle would. I'm sorry to say for Duncan that he didn't really think so. After all the supplies were unloaded from the cars, he steamed off back to the yard. That evening, as the headmaster went home, Duncan went back to the shed, and Mr. Percival spoke severely to him. "I'm pleased with your hard work today, Duncan, but not with your behavior today. Your whistle came off because you tried to show everyone how fine your whistle was. Whistles are not for games, and you are not a musical engine. And in the meantime, once Peter Sam gets his new whistle, he will do your work. No work means no whistle." Wait, no. "And no work means no whistle," Duncan muttered to himself. As the rest of the other engines returned, Duncan didn't even say a word. "An engine's not an engine without a whistle," said a voice to no one in particular. "Engines won't go anywhere if they don't have it. It would be too dangerous." All Duncan could do was pay no attention. He still has a lot to learn, doesn't he?